take a moment and introduce myself. My name is Jennifer Kloosterman, and I am an Academic Pathways Coordinator here in the Academic Pathways Office at Seneca. Welcome to the 2024 Virtual Graduate Studies Expo, where we've got a variety of institutions presenting to Seneca students and alumni on various master's, graduate studies, and bachelor and master's of education programs. The session we're doing now is with York University, and there will be time. We're going to do a short sort of presentation, and then at the end there will be time for questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to post those into the chat box at the bottom right hand corner of the screen. You'll see a little sort of bubble out. Just click on that, and we will be sharing links there, and any questions you have can also get posted there. So thank you to Vanessa Graffi for joining us today. I will pass it over to you, and then we'll come back for questions when you're finished.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Jennifer, for having me. Hi, I'm Vanessa, as Jennifer introduced myself. I am with York University, and I'm with the department faculty called the Faculty of Education. I think many of you who may be joining this session today have that interest to become a certified teacher, and that's what I'm going to be talking about on half of my slides and information with you, and how you can think about applying to the teaching certification program, what you need, grade point averages, what we're going to be looking for. But I also want to introduce you to another program that we have, which is a Bachelor of Arts in Educational Studies. This is a traditional, we'll call it a 4-year BA program. I'm going to throw out being Seneca students. I am seeing Seneca students joining us in the BA program, maybe after they finished a certificate or a diploma, and curious to grow with their college program and move it into now a degree. Jennifer's heard my story. I am a Seneca grad from way back in the 90s. I too did a 2-year diploma. I did in travel and tourism at the King campus. And then I found myself after my diploma and the kind of courses that I took sort of itching to continue learning. And I came to York University and I did my degree in anthropology. So you can see that there's that sort of that connection from what you've gained over the few years in your undergrad or your diploma program, and now wanting to complement it with another program. And that could be with us at York University and maybe in educational studies. So our Faculty of Education, we are one of the largest in Ontario, but yet we're one of the smallest at York. So we get to really know our students. You can see the first one highlighted there. That's that BA Educational Studies. It's a 4-year degree, but many of our students come in from Seneca with transfer credit. So it's not a full 4 years with us. It might be shortened to 2 years. And then, of course, the BED. You're going to hear me say that word a lot, BED. That is the Bachelor of Education, and that is the Teaching Certification Program. Many students now think after they finished a degree, even their teaching certification, what else would they like to do? Keep growing, keep learning. And so we do have a graduate program. We have graduate masters, which can be a year full-time or 2 years part-time. We have diploma, graduate diplomas, and certificates as well. So lots for you to sort of learn about with our faculty if your heart is there and you just want to keep growing with your education. So let me start with the BA in Educational Studies. This is an experiential education program. Many of you that are coming out of the Seneca certificates and diplomas have hands-on experience because of what you've been pursuing. And this is the same. Our BA program allows students in what we call their 3rd or their 4th year, their upper years, to get experience working in some sort of organization, maybe a community, outdoor recreation, tutoring, coaching, example here, museum directors. But what this BA is this is not the teacher education. This is not the degree to get you to become a certified teacher. But yet I do see a lot of students move into the BA program to get a degree and get that knowledge and curious sort of thinking about what education means, not just in the classroom, but what it means outside. What me and Jennifer do, and many of, Jennifer's colleagues at Seneca as is York, we're here to support students in an advising, coaching, pathway, next step. And that's kind of what this BA program is about. It's about supporting students in an educational kind of way, but not directly classroom. There's so many other opportunities out there in the field of education where it's not just linked to becoming a certified teacher. So this is, as I said, experiential education and happens in your upper year. So if you're coming out of Seneca with a 1 or 2 year certificate or diploma, you will be eligible for some transfer credit, but you probably will have another 2 years to pursue this BA program. The experiential education happens once a week throughout the year. There's also a class that's attached to it. And I think it's beautiful that you're maybe bringing something that you did from Seneca and bringing it towards our faculty in the BA program. We get to learn from you and you get to learn from us. This is sort of your stepping stone of courses that students traditionally take in their first year. You would too. You'd have to take those first 3 courses, EDST 1000, 1100, and 1200. And then we do have a general education requirement at our university. All students have to take a natural science, social science, and humanities. But I do see students from Seneca getting those courses waived because of maybe a diploma or an associate degree that you're coming out with. The program is made up of credits. So we use a credit system of, let's say, if it's a course that runs from September to December, it's 3 credits. January to April, it's 3 credits. So overall, you're looking at a degree that's made up of 120 credits. So it's about like 5 full courses or 10.5 courses a year. But can't say it enough, that won't be your pathway. You will get probably transfer credit from your Seneca studies, and you might be now doing this over 2, maybe 3 years, depending on what kind of program you're coming out of from Seneca College. These are sort of the idea of courses that you would take in the BA program. So again, you can see it's not directly about, creating classroom lessons or, sustainable education in a way that's in a classroom. This is education outside of a classroom. So what does Indigenous education mean, in our communities, maybe in an organization that you're with? Maybe you're looking at creating curriculum, but it's not about becoming a teacher. Maybe you want to become a curriculum developer for companies or for the Ministry of Education, or maybe moving back into a college system and helping your professors create their curriculum. So it's kind of neat. These courses are growing every year in our BA. The BA started in 2016, 2017, so we're coming up to 7 or 8 years of it. And what comes each year are new courses that our professors are bringing to our students. So again, back to experiential education, it is dear. We find that, it is important now as you pursue your studies to get some hands-on experience. So it could be an independent. You may choose an organization that you want to explore, but it may not be a face-to-face experience. There is some independent study options, but most of our students, a good 95% of our students, are in that placement once a week. In the final year of the BA, as part of the experiential education, we do what's called a capstone, and you'll be doing research on different organizations, maybe speaking to a professional in the federal government who is doing education, activism, and policy. Maybe it's me. I'm also one of those mentors for our BA students because of the work that I do and what my team do as academic advisors for our students. So I do invite you to look at our website, the Faculty of Education. You can see what they're doing with the EDST 4999, what that research is. And again, it's a full year, 1 day a week, maybe exploring, mentoring, and as well as a classroom. Your degree. So I want to share with you, I talk about a 4-year degree. That is, most programs at York or other universities have the 4-year, 120 credits. But we do have a general degree. It's called a 3-year degree. And I'm speaking to that to you as a Seneca student because you may have already done a 2-year associate or a 2-year diploma, and you're thinking, oh gosh darn it, I don't know if I want another 3 years to get that degree. So you could plan what we call a 3-year degree. So it may now be just a 1.5 years for you to finish our Bachelor of Arts degree. That's where me and my team come in to support you as you move into our program, and we'll be able to talk, how long do you want this degree to be for you? Maybe you have to do it part-time, maybe you have a job, maybe you want to move through it really fast, which would be a fall, winter, summertime. You could take your courses over the summer. You may jump into our BA program and go, I'm really interested in another area, environmental and urban change. Maybe it's psychology, maybe it's history. So you can do what's called a major and a minor. And again, me and my team are here to support you through that when you're admitted. Or maybe you'll think about a totally different major. Maybe you'll think of something else at York that's grabbed your attention, but yet ed studies still sort of sits there with you and go, maybe I should still do it. So you could do a major elsewhere and a minor with us. So lots of options for you, but when you are applying for the BA program, you are applying just directly for the one, okay? And I'm going to show you the code, the OUAC UAC code, and how to do it. There's another opportunity that just grew into this BA program a year ago, and students who are doing their degree, their Bachelor of Arts Educational Studies, can now take these 3 courses and get a certificate to also complement their degree. And this is educational development. I'm sort of saying it's a good stepping stone if this is where you would like to head to as a profession. Master's programs is where you usually end up to become a professional educational developer. They have their own sort of association. And this may interest you. You know, there's some cool things in our BA program, that it's not just becoming a teacher and, you know, applying to teacher ed. You may go in a slightly different direction with this BA. An example of that is this student. This is Raksheen. Raksheen actually works for me as a work study student. She's been with me for a couple of years, and Raksheen's sort of sharing with you her studies. Now, she came out of high school, so she's a good old 4 years, but you'll see the courses that she has to take, which would be the same for you. The ones in blue, the EDST 1000 levels. She then started to build on courses in her second year that caught her interest. So she's like, I'm kind of interested in policy. So she tried policy, recreation, and education. And then you can see she took courses outside of ed studies. And this, I should step back. This is where a degree might feel different than what you've been doing at Seneca College. So in your studies at Seneca, a lot of your courses I'm going to use are pre-described. Okay, you already know what you're supposed to be taking your first semester. You know, you have your calendar, what you're going to take in your second semester, and move along. And then you usually have some wiggle room with electives. When you do a degree with us at York, and in particular to this BA program, half of them are EDST, okay? But the other half could be whatever. Maybe you want to take more history courses, maybe more policy courses, which is where Raksheen was sitting. So as much as we're going to advise you and tell you, yep, you got to do these courses, the EDSTs, there's a lot of courses you get to search and soul for and say, wow, that sounds really cool. I'm going to add this to my BA, because we want your degree to look different to the student that's sitting next to you. So Raksheen has been moving along. She has now finished her BA in educational studies. She did decide to move into the teaching education, because that's still where she is passionate about, becoming a certified teacher. However, because of the policy component that she pulled into her ed studies program, her long-term goal, which is not too far away, is to move into Europe, and she wants to go into grad school and work on policy within the European system. Why Europe? Well, because Raksheen got to go on an exchange last summer. She applied for our PH Freiburg exchange, which went from April through to July. Okay, so how to enter into this program. So as a college student, we're looking at a minimum of a C to B average, and you will do this through the Ontario University's Application Center. The code is YER. We only offer a start for September, okay? So we're not a January start, but the application is open now if it interests you. And I'm going to do a quick apology. Sorry, I know this is being recorded. I have to start charging my computer. This is the goofiness of when you work from home and you don't have all your beautiful setups like you do in your office at the campus. So I am just going to go over here. Just 1 second, please. All right, there we go. Make it really real. Now I'm not going to lose you. So best time to apply would be maybe thinking about applying in January. Application will be open till probably around May. But the sooner you apply with your studies from Seneca, what you'll get from the Office of Admissions at York is you'll get a conditional offer. And that condition means you're still finishing up your diploma or your certificate. You need to send us your final transcript. So we want to go out with early offers to you. And then when your final transcript comes in, when you've completed the program, it will be reevaluated by the Office of Admissions. We also work with tentative transfer credit too, so you're not coming in, partway being admitted and not knowing what kind of credit you'll get. You'll get an understanding of it from the very beginning. So average wise C+, but most of our students from the colleges certainly come in with a B or better. All right, here's our next info, the Bachelor of Education. I'm sure many of you who are now in this space who are either, again, have a certificate or a diploma, or you have an associate degree. So the Bachelor of Education, we offer both a concurrent and a consecutive model. Concurrent means you're doing both degrees at the same time, an undergrad degree and a Bachelor of Education. But the concurrent model is only for students who have applied from high school. So we're not going to talk about the concurrent model. We're going to talk about the consecutive model teacher education program. And what you need to move into the consecutive degree is you need a degree. Okay, I will need, or me and my team will need to see that you have a degree from Seneca, maybe one of the those 4-year associate degrees. If you don't have a degree and you want to move into the teaching profession, well, then this is where your chance is to either revisit Seneca and look at your diploma and see if it has sort of that next pathway to complement that diploma for you to now get your associate degree, or you can leave Seneca and join us at York to finish up a degree and then move into the consecutive Bachelor of Education program. Our Bachelor of Education program is accredited by the Ontario College of Teachers. So all the Faculty of Education in Ontario that run a teaching certification program, that's who we need to follow our program requirements under, OCT, Ontario College of Teachers. So this consecutive model is a fall, winter. It is a September start. And if you are finishing a degree, or you've already got a degree and you've come back to this info session to get more information about the teacher ed, you're going to be applying now. Application is open for the consecutive BED for a September start, and the deadline is December the 2nd. So I'm going to show you that pathway, how you apply. To move into our teacher education program, average-wise, we're looking at a minimum of a B. We use a grading scale out of 14, as all the Faculty of Ed Ontario do. So that's about a 73%. And we use the last 10 full year or 20 half-year courses to pull that grade point average. That is a very common way for grade point averaging for professional programs, graduate programs. We work with your last 2 years, okay? And what are those last 2 years? So we're going to pull from summer of 2024, because my team are busy assessing all these applications coming in right now. We will look at your grades from this past summer, if you took any, and go back 2 years, okay, or 10 full or 20 half-year courses. So the consecutive program we offer from kindergarten, the wee little ones, right up to grade 12. Most of the students I see moving into our teacher program from Seneca are coming out from those degrees with early childhood education. And so you're most likely applying to primary junior. Again, this is a 4-semester fall, winter. It is full time. So be ready to commit a good 25 hours a week, because it's courses and it's practice teaching as well. In your first year, you'll do a community placement and you'll do a practice teaching in your first year too. The program is offered at the Kiel campus, which is sort of that Jane, Finch, Kiel, close to Black Creek Pioneer Village, if you know it. We have 2 subway stations now on our campus, so fairly easy to get to. And we also offer this bachelor program at the Catholic Education Center. Now that is with the Toronto Catholic District School Board. Their head office is at Shepherd and Yonge, and we have classroom space there. So if you are Roman Catholic, and your goal is to become a teacher in the Catholic schools, and that Toronto Catholic teaching experience seems to fit well for you, then you would select the Catholic Education Center when you're moving along with your application for the teacher ed program. I'm not going to jump into Glendon or the Waban Indigenous at this time. If you have questions, you're always welcome to reach out to me. So how do you apply? You go through the Ontario University Application Center, the consecutive program. Application is open now, and you need to apply by December 2nd, okay? So you're not using the undergrad app. you're using the teacher ed for the teacher certification program. If you're thinking about the BA ed studies I just talked about, then that would be the undergrad application. These are all the Faculty of Ed in Ontario that offer the teacher ed program. We all do it a little bit different, but the courses, pretty much what you take there, would be the same as what you have to take at York because of the OCT, Ontario College Teacher accreditation requirement. So you would be selecting York University, and then you'd move into the different program codes. As I said, I find most of the students from Seneca coming into primary junior, and that program code is Y10. So the next step will be for you to complete a supplementary information form. This is after you've applied through the teacher ed application. You'll be invited to complete the supplementary form, and it's due December the 18th. Now, this is a piece, it's like an essay. You got to take your time to think about it, reflect on the questions that this form is asking you. There'll be basic information saying, have you ever applied before? Would you like to be in the public school board or in the Catholic board for your teaching practice days? Then you'll move into experience summary, which will be asking you, how many hours have you had volunteering with the age group that you want to teach? How many hours have you had in community organizations? How many hours have you had in a classroom setting? And all it is a list of hours. And then you're going to take those hours and you're going to move it into the profile. And this is where there's some questions to ask about, what was it that you gained in those experiences? Were you in an early childhood education classroom? And what were the things that you brought into that classroom and you learned? And talk about, no surprise, equity, diversity, inclusivity. Talk about your leadership and talk about what community means to you. Again, we don't sort of make you have to think how to respond to the supplementary form. The questions are there. It's really how do you form your responses to it. And then the final piece is a personal statement, which is that why do I really want to be a teacher? And again, there's questions that we ask you to think about and respond to. I want to say, when you're filling out the supplementary form, think about your own lived experience, okay? Where you've come from in your education, what you've learned through your studies at Seneca, and what you would like to continue learning as you move into the teacher education program, and what you think you can bring to the program as well to be, that super professional teacher in a couple of years from now. You also have to do 2 letters of reference. The referees are not like your professor at Seneca who says, great student, always came on time to class. But if you want to use that professor will be asked to think about your engagement in that classroom. Were you a leader? Did you support some sort of activity at Seneca beyond just the classroom? So it's not just about academic, it is about that extra component and professionalism and telling them why you want to be a teacher. The other referee might be ideal if it's somebody that you work with. We see a lot of swim instructors, dance instructors, coaches applying to our program, and using those as your supervisors is fine. But maybe it's not. Maybe you've been working at a restaurant, maybe you've been working at a drugstore. So where can that supervisor do a reference to talk about your skills, supporting people with the questions that they have, helping them out, maybe also helping out your colleagues. So again, supplementary form and the references are due December the 18th. So I'm going to try and move along quickly because I've only got 5 more minutes. But what is the minimum GPA? It's a B, and it's based on your last 2 years from the summer back. What was last year's average? It was a B. We haven't changed it since I've been with the faculty for over 12 years. What are your marks versus that supplementary form? So it's a 50-50. If you would get, if you meet the minimum GPA, then the supplementary form that you've completed, that goes to the faculty, and now they're going to review it. And they're going to review that between January and into February. Our decisions will get posted on March the 1st for the consecutive BED. Is there a preference of a 3 or 4 year? This really doesn't apply to you right now because you would be coming out with a 4-year degree from Seneca, but the answer is no. There is not. It is ideal for primary, junior, or junior intermediate. As a high school teacher, you have to have an honors degree. Masters do not fall into our teacher ed program review, so we'll just really be working with your undergrad. And you need to have your degree completed by next summer, okay, or the fall, the latest, for you to start in September with the Bachelor of Ed. You'll find out March 1st about the decision. And do we have any special admissions policy? Well, we have the Access Initiative. And the Access Initiative is sitting on the supplementary information form that I just talked about, where you would say yes, or no, and if you say yes, that you align with one of our access components, Indigenous status, learning, minoritized, then we'll be inviting you to talk about what that has meant for you as you have pursued your studies, okay? And the reason why we ask for access is not to sort of say, okay, we need to provide more support for you. Your uniqueness that you've had in the education system as a student who falls into one or two of these categories, you as a certified teacher in 2 years are going to be able to support those young learners in your classroom who may too align to this. So that is what we're looking for, because we're in the Greater Toronto area and many of our students, of course, teach in the GTA. So the teaching levels we offer: primary, junior, for sure you can apply to that. Junior, intermediate, and intermediate senior. What this means is that you need to have a good handful of courses in your degree that speak to a teachable. So if you had, a history degree, which you probably don't from Seneca, but maybe a student from another university does, they did a history degree, okay, you be a history teacher. Same with intermediate, senior. So I see most of the Seneca students, as I've already said, move into the primary, junior teaching qualification. I'm going to move away from the JI and the IS, and we can maybe open up to questions if you think you fall into that category. So the experience profile and the references, I've already spoken about, what you're going to be doing in those supplementary information forms, but I want you to think about the total number of hours that you've had in classroom, volunteering, and work experience on the supplementary form. What are the types of experiences that we see students talking about? Well, it's right there: educational assistant, a supply teacher, educational assistant. Again, early years, maybe you've been in the classroom there. And what makes it stand out? I can't say it enough. Talk about your own experience in education, where you're looking to learn and grow more to become a certified teacher. So again, it's your own lived positionality of becoming a teacher, okay? And this is a feel of our teacher education program. So are we online? We are not an online program. You will be in person somewhere between 8:30 to 5:30 that Monday to Friday. Our program, I can't say it enough, is accredited by the Ontario College of Teachers, and they are the ones that say to become a successful teacher, we want you in the classroom at the York University campus learning from your faculty. Our classes are 45 or less, so we'll have sort of that same feeling that you've experienced at Seneca. A lot of group work, journals, assignments, presentations, reflections. There's no exams or tests in the Bachelor of Ed. There could be some quizzes. Example on the bottom is, there you are, you're a teacher, practice teaching with young children in the classroom. There could be one or two classes that have a slightly larger lecture feeling, but then you're pushed down to tutorials where we're back to small. And if there's any course that's online, it would be because your professor's sick, doesn't want to come to campus, so you're going to do a Zoom class. There could be an opportunity where a professor's gotten the okay to do partial online, partial in person, but I do tell you, 95, 99% of our classes, we are face-to-face at the Kiel campus. You will gain 88 days of practice teaching in our Bachelor of Education program. You need a minimum of 82 for the Ontario College of Teachers. And the boards that we're connected with is York Region Public Catholic, Toronto Public Catholic, and the Peel Dufferin Public Catholic. So we're not with Oshawa, we're not with Halton, we're not over in the Hamilton area. These are the boards that we are with. Can you select your own school? Nope. We have an Office of Experiential Education. Our associate director there and her team will find the school and the mentor teacher to be with. You will start your teaching practice after Thanksgiving weekend of your first year. So you get a bit of time to get comfortable in our courses. And again, this is back to the slides of how many days. So 1 day in a community in your first year, 1 day in a school. We call it observation because you're not having to do full-on lesson plans, but I promise you are busy in that classroom supporting the mentor teacher and learning from them to be a successful teacher. Then in year 2, it's 2 to 3 days in a classroom in the fall, and then 2 days in the winter semester of your final year, and then you do a block. I think it's 4 or 5 weeks. Okay, common courses, and I've gone over my time. It's 11:31. Are we good still, Jennifer, for a few more minutes?
Yeah, you're good. This is great.
Beautiful. Thank
Yes.
you. All right, so courses that you're going to take in the 2-year program, there they are. Okay, you're going to do that somewhere in those 2 years. All our students, be it PJ, JI, or IS, do all these courses, and then you move into your practicums, 2,000, 3,000, and 4,000. No surprise, the teaching panel. So look over to my left is primary junior. Think about the days of elementary school, literacy, mathematics, science, social studies. You're going to be building on those courses in your 2 years, so you will be prepared when you move into the school to teach them. Then you do some electives, okay? So you know what electives are from your Seneca studies. Well, you get a few electives with us too at the Bachelor of Ed. As a primary junior teacher candidate, language, math, and one open choice. We want to make sure that our elementary school teachers are really feeling confident with the literacy and the math skills to get those young kids starting off early and feeling confident with those skills. So what is the tuition? It's probably not too far off from your Seneca studies. Because we're a full-time, full course load for the 2 years. Max is always 30 credits that students enroll in to be a full-time, and so that's the BED program. So for this past year, was sitting at just over $7,300, and then in the second year, we're going to sort of say approximately the same. So it's tuition that is feasible, like undergraduate. When does the program start? So I keep talking about September, but in fact, in your first year, it starts the end of August. So if you do apply to the consecutive program, and if you are admitted, you need to be ready in person on the campus, start your classes the last week of August, and we move through right till the end of April for your first year. And then your second year, you do start in September, and then you move through to the first week of May because of the practice teaching days you need. We will help you with great ways to connect with school boards, job opportunities. We have a beautiful Faculty of Education Student Association, which is a bunch of our students who put together professional conference where we've got not just local school boards coming to talk to our students about job opportunities, but international too. So if you have an itching when you are moving out of our teacher ed program to teach abroad, I'm doing a bunch of letters for students going down to Australia to teach for a few years. We bring representatives in to talk to you about that. Okay, so that is the end of my show for the teacher education program as well as the BA Educational Studies. To explore the teacher ed, I can't say it enough. You go to the OUAC website and you look at TEAS, TEAS. And if you're interested in the Bachelor of Arts Educational Studies program, you also go to the OUAC website, but you're looking now at undergrad. So thanks so much for listening in and happy to take questions.